when you make a video game, you never really know how it's going to be received. So today I wanted to spend some time reacting to the Steam reviews for the game I've been making with my buddy Ben. This is Sky Shard, a city building PvP auto battler. It's very much a little indie game, you know, a passion project of love for us. But as you can see here from my very specifically targeted hovering, we have 100% positive reviews so far on our demo. It's only 42 reviews, nothing crazy, but it's been well received by our players, right? People who've engaged have been playing a lot. We've got people with multiple hundreds of hours, as we'll see in the Steam reviews here. But I just wanted to go through and read some of the love. I know there's some constructive criticism mixed in there as well, so some things we can react to and talk about. And then at the end of this, I'm also going to try to squeeze in a run of our game, of course. But, you know, this whole idea came to mind for me because another game came out on Steam this week called High Guard, which is a perfect rhyme for our game, Sky Shard. They're nothing alike. High Guard is a, you know, more premium hero shooter type thing that's trying some new and different stuff. And it had this whole kind of dramatic reveal process in the game awards this year, and then it kind of went radio silent and everybody's like, what's going on with this game, and so on and so forth, right? And it finally released this week, and it's gotten mostly negative reviews so far. I think a lot of those due to technical difficulties, some of that due to probably like brigading a little bit just because it was so memed on and stuff. But you know, I was like, man, it's tough making a game even from a super experienced team with a huge budget, you know. Different expectations, of course, than our game. It's not a one-to-one comparison by any means, but it's just, you never really know where you're going to land or what you're going to get when it comes to reception. So I'm thrilled that so far, you know, we have had 100% positive reviews. I know that's not going to last. Somebody's going to watch this video, give us a negative review. That's fine. I want to get to 50 reviews in particular because I think that's where it starts saying very positive here. You can't have, even though it's 100%, it can't be very positive until you have, I think, 50, and then I don't know, that changes. And this is, of course, just our demo as well. But honestly, having a demo that's well reviewed is even better because it's not done yet. You know, the game is still very much a work in progress. I did update some of our screenshots this week, right? But you'll still see, you know, there's temporary art. There's stuff that's not done and not real. Here's some temporary MS Paint art in the mix, right? I just hit it, but here's some more up here, right? It's not done, but, you know, things are going well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the reviews here on Steam and what we can make of these, and just some of these I've read, some of these I haven't, some of these are gonna be live reactions, some of these are just gonna be discussing through. All right, so up first here we have somebody with no name, which I didn't even know you could do on Steam. They've written 5 reviews, recommended 21 hours on record, pretty fun but extremely difficult to win, which fair to say. I've always been very worried about this. You know, we do have bracketed matchmaking, so, you know, that if they're not, you know, getting crazy strong in the game, are still being exposed to people who are at their level roughly. You know, there's some wide bands in there, but, you know, they should be able to win a little bit. But there is a ton of depth in our game for sure. I think it favors people who've been playing more than have been playing less. I will say 21 hours is a long time already to still feel like you're not that good. Some people will inevitably just never be the max because it's just, you know, it takes a lot of dedication and learning in strategy games to be the best. But I do want people to feel like they have a sense of accomplishment and like a sense of progress and stuff. So I'm always worried about that a little bit. My partner Ben, he trusts, I think, people's desire to mastery more than I do. Like, I don't think most people seek mastery quite like he thinks they do. I think, you know, he does. He's that kind of gamer who like learns everything and goes super hard. I am from time to time, depending on the game, right? Certainly games I cover on YouTube, I do hit that level usually. But, you know, some people don't have that innate desire to find that amount of mastery, and I think have the risk of bouncing off pretty hard. So it's just a question of how much do you serve those versus how much do you serve the depth, and like finding that balance is always hard, and it's something we've talked about a number of times, and just making sure we can onboard people successfully. And we just changed up the rank brackets so they're not quite as punishing for certain groups. So moving on, this review, this one's something else. This is from Domo Suneo with 24 reviews. Recommended only 1.6 hours on record, so not a ton of playtime at the time of the review, but it says, if the bazaar wasn't a scummy money grab, plus better gameplay loop. So, I mean, listen, right? If you don't know what the Bazaar is, it's another auto battler, more or less the same genre, right? Kind of a strategy auto battler. Ours is probably a little closer to a game like Backpack Battles, which is another major name in the genre. Bazaar is a little bit more kind of like card based, although not really cards, but just looks and feels a little bit different in its structure. Kind of has more of like a board based structure. Ours is more of a kind of inventory based structure, even though it's a city, not an inventory. It doesn't matter. Anyway, a different game, but one certainly I've been following from its very beginnings, because it was also created by a YouTuber much like us, Raynad, or not a streamer, let's say. He was really more of a Twitch guy, but a content creator. Raynad, who was a very big name in the Hearthstone world, which I was also a moderately sized name in the Hearthstone world. Maybe got a little bigger after Raynad actually left, but anyway, so similar origins. YouTube created game, and it's, by the way, I think by most merits, a very well-made game. Like, I think it's fun, it's beautiful, super high polished. The gameplay itself, I think a ton of people adore. The challenge the Bazaar has faced, which this comment begins to capture a little bit, is more on the kind of business and monetization side of things, as opposed to the gameplay side of things. Almost everybody agrees, fantastically made video game. A lot of people would say a game that has had some management challenges, both in its production and in its post-launch execution from a financial standpoint. Now, that said, I do think the Bazaar has turned the corner a little bit lately. The last even just couple months, I'm seeing a lot more positive sentiment around the Bazaar. Player numbers have actually been growing up, which is hard to do post-launch for a game. So it seems like they're turning things around a little bit, which, you know, good to see. I want their player base obviously to be very happy. I don't want games to fail or suffer, even though they're technically a competitor. I don't really see it that way. Like, the genre doing well probably helps more than a game failing, right? Like, you want people to be involved in the auto battler world, you know, a rising tide raises all ships type of thing, right? So if the Bazaar was the number one and we were number 2 or 3 or 5 even, you know, I'd be super happy to catch some of those leftovers. So, like, yes, I will agree that Ben and I specifically, when making this game, you know, we referenced the Bazaar a lot, and we're like, hey, you know, we're not going to be able to match their like production values or polish, because Raynad raised like $20 million or something, some of which had some like legal troubles and stuff, which I don't even know all the details, but like ton of money raised, and, you know, spent 5 years making the game with an enormous team and like developers and crazy art and like insane level of polish and production. We just cannot even begin to match that, because we're going to make a game in a year for like $50,000 instead of like 6 years for $20 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different planets, like not even the same sort of vibes, right? We're trying to, again, hit more of that like Backpack Battles vibe, a lot more acknowledging our indie side and not trying to be anything too crazy, because that just seemed like such an insurmountable goal and like such a headache and such a just like risk, frankly, to just take on that much money and that much time, and it's just not what we wanted to be or do. So definitely a different approach, one that I'm sure came with a ton of challenges that Raynad had to juggle. Like, I'm not trying to be judgmental here at all, just, you know, Ben and I just decided, hey, that's not what we want to be or do. So, you know, I'll let everybody speak for their own experiences with Bazaar and the scummy money grab or whatever. Again, I think they've turned the corner a bit. But anyway, just some insights there. The better gameplay loop, hey, I appreciate that. That's really nice. I think we do have a really fun little gameplay loop and system. Building a city is actually just always really fun. I think the like resulting outcome of our game, where you can look at your city, is more satisfying than Bazaar's. Like, you know, it's just kind of a assortment of stuff in Bazaar, and like, you know, I think it's actually even more satisfying than like Backpack Battles, which again is just kind of an assortment of stuff in a bag, which again, I love both of these games, not criticisms, but I think ours, like, you know, you feel a little bit more of a like storyline or evolution of your city, and it feels like a thing you kind of grow attached to almost, which is, I think, pretty cool. All right, next review. We are going so slow, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read all of these, but maybe we'll go faster. I'm sure I won't have crazy insights for all of these. Anyway, Sminem, 1.3 hours on record. Not again super long, but love this review. Actually, I remember reading this one before. Got an ad for this on Reddit and gave it a shot. The game is so much more fun than I was ever expecting based on what I initially saw. I'm not really a city builder game player, nor do I usually play auto battlers, but the replayability is insane, and the gameplay loop in general is a lot of fun, with the roguelite elements included. There is a lot of synergy to try and understand between the different factions, but after my second playthrough, I understood it pretty well. And on my third, I got a full 16 round playthrough, which was really exciting. I will definitely be coming back to play this more. Number one, that's just like excellent. I'm really glad that he felt like he got a grasp of this quickly. You know, that's one of my biggest worries. And like we saw here, you know, extremely difficult to win. This is a little bit of a different story, which is good. And they, you know, this may be a different context. They may be playing at like the top ranks and saying it's difficult to win. This might be somebody who's at lower ranks and happy that they got there. We don't know their expectations, right? At the time of playing it, a quarter of the buildings are drawn in what looks like MS Paint, and I absolutely died live. I think it's more like half still for the record, but I love it so much, even though I know they're just placeholders for now. Yeah, I still very much want to keep Ben's art in the game as variants because people love the charming MS Paint drawings. Love this review though, man. Somebody who had no attachment to me as a YouTuber, came in blind, came in actually sounds like with kind of negative expectations. Because, you know, as an indie game, sometimes it's hard to get that like first glance. Again, you don't have the crazy polish or like crazy flash and flare of a high budget game. So it's like, you know, people's first impressions are going to be mixed. Some people find it charming. Some people find it, you know, low budget and small and so on. Like, I think we're getting better. Stuff like these screenshots really help. You know, I think we added some nice, cool, high polished screenshots lately, but you never know what people expect. And they still came in with low expectations and came out pleasantly surprised. That's absolutely perfect. If I could just paste this review everywhere and say like, hey, look, that would be great. Yeoj wrote, loving it so far. Can't wait to see where this game goes. The demo is very playable and fun, and loving how active the devs are in their communications. YouTube, hey, that's what you're watching right now. We try. It's very natural for us as YouTubers to be able to talk about stuff. I never played an auto battler before. That's a good start. 111 hours on record, by the way, is insane for somebody who's never played an auto battler before. That's crazy. So I have no comparison to make, but what I will say is that this game genuinely took me back in time in the best way possible. No gimmicks, no battle pass, no BS. Really enjoyable gameplay loop that takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how much you want to theory craft. So worth the download and eventual purchase once the full game comes out. I will be buying it. Very fun, undiluted fun. Awesome. Amazing review. Winning somebody over that's new to the genre is particularly tough because, again, I think we have a lot of depth. This has always been a triumph, too. We're just happy to have a game that just plays and works, and you know, it's just like old school vibes. That's just, yeah, I'm glad that's being acknowledged. That's awesome. Lamorak, 21 hours on record. Great game made by great people with a player-centric philosophy that really shows. I played the demo in its first release, and I'm blown away by the progress they've made, both from a game balance and polish perspective. All in all, I trust these guys to ship a game that will be more than worth the price they ask for. Well, thank you, Lamorak. 21 hours again, it's good, solid chunk. Like, that's a lot of time to spend on a game, honestly. Like a demo in particular, although again, our demo is kind of the full game, to be fair. Dude, 241 hours on record, 161 at the review time. Oh, I didn't know it differentiated. Okay, so some of these people may have written the review and then taken a pause on the demo. Oh, actually, this one too, I didn't realize. 1.5 at review time. Okay, so some people kept playing after the review, some probably didn't. They were like, okay, I'm gonna sit on this until early access, whatever next step, or maybe just forever. I mean, somebody playing 21 hours on our game and being done with it, that would be thrilling either way. But anyway, Drevoed here, I don't know exactly how to pronounce that one of our best players, super high on the leaderboard all the time. In fact, I bet if we look at this screenshot of the leaderboard over here that I added this week, I bet we will see them. Yep, number 5. Very, very highly ranked player. One of our most engaged players too in Discord. I like how there are no random chances to crit / miss an attack. A lot of opportunities for micro optimizations, like the order in which your town will be destroyed. Cool how in the main menu you see other players' builds floating around. Gives a feel for the current meta. I like how like technical this one is. It's less about like the trappings of the game and more about like the very specific mechanical stuff that a really high ranked player would care about and be interested in. So that's really cool to see. You can see too, like pain points perhaps from like other games or something where they're like, yes, I like how this one's doing this thing a little bit differently. This is like a bin kind of review. Some of these other ones are like Regis reviews where I'm like about the philosophy, right? This is a bin review where he's like, yes, the very mechanical game design decisions are being acknowledged. Thank you. So AV Hub, 46 hours on record. This game in demo form gets more play than 99% of my other games. This game is exactly what I was after, a game where you can jump in for 15 minutes, do a run and jump out, but every time you play, you can mess with different combos and things. The game seems really well developed with a 2-person development team caring deeply about all the little things and with a clear communication on the longevity of this game. I don't know if I can read full reviews like this that are so long. Maybe we'll just have to get little snippets here because this one is this one's a little, I mean, there's going to be even longer ones, I know, but thank you, AV Hub. Again, 46 hours is awesome. Appreciate the acknowledgement there. Davis Jason, almost 10 hours on record. Been watching Regis for a long time now. That's me, Regis. And seeing him put so much time and love into this game as an actual gamer himself has been amazing. I've really enjoyed the game as a relax/chill play. It's so nice to be able to kick back and really sink my brain into the strategy and city building. Amazing game. Thank you, Davis. I like that this one acknowledges that the game is acceptable as a more like chill game, because I again worry sometimes about the depth. Like if people can access it and have fun without going crazy hard, I think that's good that we can kind of scratch both of those itches, because I know we can scratch the crazy hard, like big super deep player itch, because people who get into it have a ton to explore. I'm just worried more about the chill games. That's good. When you all graduate, 7 hours. Can't wait for the full game. This is an instant buy on release. Can definitely see myself sinking many hours into the demo. They did sink in another 6 hours after writing the review, so it's probably a win. Vestman, lovely cozy game with a lot of potential. Of the constant updates from the devs. Thank you, Vestman. Jeremy Clarkson, probably not the Jeremy Clarkson, but you never know. Another name I do see playing quite a bit in our builds often. It's been a lot of fun following along with this game as it's being developed. The concept is solid, even with placeholder art. It feels fun and engaging. Thank you, Jeremy Clarkson. 200 hours on record. The concept is solid. Not to give them a hard time. I know Jeremy's a very supportive player. It's just kind of funny that like it's not amazing or great or anything, right? It's solid. 200 hours played of the demo. Like it's that's fair. That's fair. I'll take a solid concept. It's clearly a recommendation. I'm probably giving Jeremy too hard of a time here, but it's just funny. Like I would rather have the hours in a solid than a 2 hours played, and this is amazing, right? This actually tells me a lot more than anything here, right? Like this is an insane amount of dedication and devotion. That's really cool. I'm glad we can engage people for that long. Runaway just says fun. Hey, yeah, nice. Mag Wigan, 49 hours on record, another 22 played after the review. Epic cities on shards, that battle in the sky, I'm hooked. That's the tagline right there. No two runs are the same, no two cities are alike. I really like that as well. It's enjoyable finding new synergies or noticing one you've used before. Sometimes my shard will feel like one major city, a well-oiled machine, but other times it's more like multiple interconnected smaller townships surrounded by nature, each having potential to be a powerhouse in battle. That's exactly my goal, right? Sometimes I want that Rube Goldberg vibe where you're like every you guys are getting the green screen illusion and breaking out of my frame. Oh my god, he's a wizard. You know, sometimes I want that like super Rube Goldberg vibe when I'm playing, and sometimes I want like, you know, little small towns and packages. Sometimes I want, you know, like total, you know, chaos, just random stuff, but it all can kind of work. I think that's a really good place to be. The asynchronous gameplay is perfect for shorter playtimes or unexpected interruptions. I'm looking forward to future patches, balance updates, and a new unit drops that'll keep the game evolving. We do have like 30 new units coming before too long. I'm bad at the game, which is a shame, says Ukami, but it's really nice from a design point of view. They're still balancing the game, taking player feedback into account. Just go for it. Try it out. Thank you, Ukami. 23 hours. Again, I bet they're not actually bad. I bet they just like want to be the best, and it's really hard to be the best. I'm even finding that myself right now. I'm having a bad stretch myself in the game. Lexery, somebody who's played a ton, and this review is amazing. I've read this one before, of course, from December. You are an attractive mage with your own private island floating in the sky. Life is too easy, and you've got something to prove. You are not alone. Armed with your overly competitive spirit and dubious knowledge about town planning, you will build your own metropolis using whatever magic you can conjure up and raise any competing slum from existence as a precaution. I love calling them slums. Just like any architect, your first buildings will collapse because you didn't add enough bamboos and you picked the wrong kind of magic crystals for your town hall's structural integrity, but it won't be over just yet. Improve your design skills, make better questionable choices, and perhaps, maybe perhaps you will win the competition. Get strangers' pats on your back when you succeed and earn some sweet, sweet points to climb the ranks of Magic Society. You do want to get into the 30 Archmages under 300, don't you? I like that it's still 30 under, not 300 under. Reach the top of the ladder and make the cover of the Shard magazine. Well then, embrace mana consumerism and greediness might get you that far. Some people are gonna read this and think this is like a more of like a cozy like town builder or something as opposed to like a strategy game. Sky Shard is an addictive game with original ideas. The asynchronous gameplay means you can take your time, pause for a bit, and come back to your run while still competing against human players with their own strategies. The developers are very quick to fix issues, and new content gets added regularly. They also interact with players very often on Discord, explaining decisions, taking notes, and actively seeking feedback. The art is shaping up to be excellent. The Dandelion being my favorite so far. Looking forward to its development. Amazing. Thank you, Lexery, for both your nearly 100 hours and awesome, funny review. Bro, what? I have not seen this yet. This can't be. This is somebody who leaves the game running, right? What? 1,800 hours on record? How many hours have there been since the demo came out? I gotta do the math. Hold up. So the demo came out September 1st. So basically, let's just be roughly accurate. So all of September, October, November, December, and let's just say all of January. So 5 months, we'll say 30 days average, right? So that's 150 days. Each day is 24 hours, right? So there's only been 3,600 possible hours since the demo came out. That means that Super Nat Love has basically been logged into the game 12 hours a day every single day. They must just like start it up in the morning and then turn it off at night. There's no way they're actively playing 12 hours a day. I did that right? 150 days, 24 hours a day. Yeah, there's been, dude, that's wild. I'm a developer and I only have 510 hours in the game. I think that counts both my dev hours and my regular ones, so that should be right. I mean, I guess I have more than that since before release, before the demo, but only another 110. That's only on Steam though, so more than that, probably 700-800 total. Anyway, Super Nat Love, after 1,800 hours, I would love if it just said like just okay. It's fine. He writes, I've had a blast playing this game and my kids love it too. Maybe that's where some of the hours come in. There's a ton of different options for builds and learning them all gives the game a lot of depth. There's game devs are very responsive to input and are quick to make changes. They've also been adding new content at a blistering pace. 100% worth it. They played another 1,000 hours since writing the review, so I buy it. Wall writes, hands down the most engaging and rewarding auto battler I've ever played. That is crazy high praise. The interactions strike the perfect balance between intuitive and complex in a way that makes you want to jump straight back in as soon as you finish a run, just to see how the next one will play out. The asymmetric nature of the game allows you to take as much time as you like buying and positioning units each round, which alleviates one of the main pain points for me in other games in the genre. Yeah, I feel the same way. Sometimes I felt a lot of pressure in like Hearthstone Battlegrounds, or especially like TFT. TFT, I always felt so much pressure to go fast. Like, of course, having the live opponents has its own advantages, and there's some extra strategy there, scouting and all this stuff. But, you know, it's just like, it doesn't fit my playstyle as an older man these days. Capravati, 1.3 hours, nothing to write, but recommended. Appreciate it. That's how I would be. I was like, I'm just gonna leave a yes. It has awesome mechanics and systems. Thank you, Francis. Good game, still janky, but getting there. I think that's been totally fair, particularly when this was written in December. We're probably way less janky than December, but totally fair. Only auto battler I've played that's grabbed me. Fergus Bentley, one of our bigger names, 227 hours on record, very high ranked player. That's crazy. That's high praise again too, that we're capturing something unique. Pig Potty, another 242 hours here. I fell in love with the game almost immediately. I'm a veteran of Hearthstone Battlegrounds and other strategy games. This game's accessible yet deep gameplay, very friendly atmosphere, and art style and great community had me hooked right away. The devs are also the most active and hardworking devs I've ever seen. I recommend this to everyone, both experienced auto battlers and new to the genre like me alike. Wow, Pig Potty. Thank you for the high praise. 242 hours is also just completely mind-bogglingly insane. I enjoy, excited for full release. Great game with huge potential. Thank you, Croy and Schneim. Bernie Sanders, again, one of our most active players. A game truly made for regular people, not the billionaires. Let's take down the oligarch mages together. Very on brand for Senator Bernie Sanders. I love it. 725 hours. Totally nuts. Lexicon, another pretty big name I've recognized. 102 hours played. The game this demo is for has tons of potential, but that's selling it short. The demo is already fun now, and I've enjoyed every hour of my mini time testing what should be a perfect experience. Highly recommended. Thank you, Lexicon. Hotarug, another 170 hours is crazy. I've logged over 100 hours into this as a demo. Really engaging and addictive auto battler with a lot of depth and opportunity to play and have fun at various levels of mastery. Maybe even more importantly, a really great and engaged surrounding community supported by a couple great creators. Thank you. This is Corbin. I know it's Nybrock, but it's definitely just Corbin backwards. 141 hours. This is fairly long, but not too bad. I've been playing the demo since it went live, and I'm really enjoying the game. I like that it is asymmetrical multiplayer to remove toxic elements. Yeah, or asynchronous is really nice. Nobody can BM you. We do have to be careful about people writing things out on board, actually. That's something Ben and I have talked about, but haven't had to address just yet. People could make, like, you know, terrible example, right? But probably the most obvious example, like make a swastika on the board, right? Or just literally write out words. So you got to be a little careful with that. But beyond that, no other way to interact with opponents, and we'll obviously just deal with that as it comes up if it does. I enjoy learning how the systems work and taking time to lay out the board and what looks optimal. The Discord has been active and super friendly. I love how open the creators are, being about how the game is being developed. We are definitely open, if nothing else. Like, I've actually thought sometimes, like, should we make our like, we have like Discords where we talk about stuff. I was like, should we actually just make those open? Like, should we let, not people to interact, obviously, because that'd be too much of a headache to look around, but like, should we just let people read our Discord chats? It probably wouldn't hurt anything. I would be a little more sensitive to, like, artists in particular. That might be a bit of a, like, I don't know, I don't want our artists getting, like, harassed, or, like, sometimes they don't want to show off, like, early drafts and stuff. But for Ben and I think we could probably just, half the time we have discussions openly in Discord anyway. What's the difference? All right, next up, Zap Zap is the cutest. This is actually our artist who drew Zap Zap, so that's fitting. Heiner, incredibly awesome game. What an understated review for somebody who's played 868 hours. The length of the review does not match the length of playtime. Heiner is, I think, maybe indisputably our best player right now. Bacon's been close though, man. I don't know, maybe not so indisputably, but certainly historically one of our very best players. 800 hours does not surprise me, but appreciate the very kind review and dedication. Red Rune, Skyshard is a project of Ben and Regis, two YouTubers of note who I believe both embody the adage of fun first. When it comes to talking about game design and other games they've done videos on, and I can firmly say they maintain that ethos with Project Skyshard very well. Ever since the game's demo release, it's made leaps and bounds in terms of gameplay, balance, and presentation, which always makes me excited to pop back in every few weeks to see what I missed. Oh, thank you, Red Rune. I'm gonna try to shorten some of these. I think we're getting, I don't know when we opened up reviews, but I don't know how many we've read either. But this video is stretching on a little longer than I expected. That's because I yapped for like 10 minutes on the first two reviews. Espresso Rats, I've enjoyed this game on a bunch of levels. It's great when you want to really get into something strategic and spend time trying to maximize every unit you buy. There are so many interactions to consider, and you have many opportunities to explore different synergies. You can also play the game a lot more loosely. It's something you just have up while you're watching YouTube or whatever. Love it. Perfect. 91 hours is amazing. Take writes, lots of fun, simple to start, and lots of depth, learning all the synergies between buildings, plus a ton of different game modes if you want to mix things up. The devs are constantly improving it too. Yes, good auto battler, says Score. Simple and to the point, but I'll take it. Similarly, Heiko says fun Wii auto battler. It can be pretty complex to get builds going, but that's a strength. Leads to some interesting builds rather than aiming for the same build every time. That has certainly always been a philosophy we wanted to approach, is that not every game would feel the same, and that not every opponent would certainly feel the same either, which has been a big pain point for both Ben and I in many of the games that we play. Robert Vacuum, another big time name on the leaderboards. 441 freaking hours is crazy. This auto battler is great and has a surprising amount of depth. I'd say it definitely falls into the easy to learn, hard to master category of games with lots of little interactions and decisions that give you an advantage. I guess this is most similar to Slay the Spire of games I've played, but it's overall pretty unique. I'm a couple hundred hours in and still learning new things about the game. Check out the Discord too if you want to learn more about the game and the process behind making it. That's true. Our Discord has a lot of fun stuff, people sharing builds and talking, and Ben and I in there, of course, too, taking on feedback. Bacon, who we just saw on the leaderboard, 322 hours on record. Pretty high leaderboard spot for comparatively less time. Not like 322 hours is crazy work. It's a lot of time, but comparatively less. I highly recommend this game. I'm really looking forward to the early access release. This is my first experience with auto battlers. I found it addicting from the start, and the joy of finding new combos or getting a great run keep bringing me back. They have added a ton of new modes and new tutorials to help new players come up to speed. The Discord community is great, and developers are active and responsive to questions and feedback. Skyshard is so much fun. Dirk, really great auto battler with lots of decision making and micro optimization challenges. that any strategy-minded gamer would enjoy. The single developer who works on the game is also super active and engaging with the community in the game's Discord. Single developer? I mean, Ben is really the developer. I'm a glorified lackey. Sort of a publisher, if anything, in a weird way. 260 hours, almost crazy. Dirk, another big name on boards. Zai just writes, recommended 0.2 hours on record. This feels like one of those, like, oh yeah, this came out the day the demo was released. This person is probably not a real review. It seems like a kind of fake body type review. But there you go, guys. 42 positive reviews down, man. This would be perhaps a more interesting video, frankly, if we had some negative reviews that I could like discuss and acknowledge and like, hey, we're gonna fix that, or hey, we're gonna make that better, or hey, that's a difference in design philosophy. We're not gonna go that way. We don't have any bad reviews yet, so you know, I'm not hiding them. They just don't exist. You know, I'm sure some people out there have bad feedback, but thankfully, so far, it's all been pretty great. I mean, we've certainly had a lot of constructive criticism in the Discord, but you know, that's always stuff we work on and make better. So I think a lot of the positive reviews are probably people who had criticisms that turned into, you know, more love for the game. So anyway, yeah, that's a look at Sky Shard reviews. I would love to get us to 50 reviews, even with a negative 1 or 2 in the mix. So we'd still have a crazy high rating, right? So we'll see, man. I'm gonna ask Discord probably for more reviews, ask you guys out there for some reviews, or of course, if you haven't wishlist or checked the game out yourself, you can grab the demo or drop a wish list. All of that is very, very greatly appreciated. So that said, now that we've talked ourselves up enough, now that I've farmed a lot of praise, let's go ahead and see a Sky Shard run in action. All right, let's hop into a game, and I'm gonna try to go like a little more detailed than sometimes. You know, I know here on the main channel a lot of you still haven't necessarily played, and I'm not gonna be like full-on tutorial explaining everything, but trying to give full context, kind of explain very simply what units might be doing or for. That said, let's kick it off here with our hero choice. 3 heroes right now. I think they're all so close in balance at the moment that the random hero option is the way to go. You start with an extra unit. So we'll see who we roll. We get Ambrose, who is he's our kind of is he evil? Is he sneaky, conniving? I don't know, but he's kind of our mayor wizard, right? He's got some magical elements, but very much a typical mayor. Here's our free bonus unit, a little mine. Not my favorite bonus unit, but it's fine. I like the quest rapid expansion a lot. It gives us a bunch of town units early if we buy a bunch of town units early, which can give you a big tempo advantage. Here we'll start with our weapon shop and just try to find a suitable weapon. If I go for a tier 5 weapon shop, I might have a hard time buying 3 town units. I'm gonna go for a tier 4 weapon shop. Firepower Trebuchet is probably the best long-term weapon investment, but kind of bad early. Early, I actually like the Chameleon the best, I think. It's just got the highest like base DPS. It's probably the worst long-term, ironically, but that's probably good design. I'll take the Chameleon for now, the Chameleontis, and instead we're gonna find 3 town units to really juice up our early game. Foundry here, nice high health total town unit, I think, early on. Can survive a hit or 2, actually, sometimes. We get a power line, okay. Pretty good unit, tier 2 is our bonus quest unit, right? Here we'll take a post office probably. Botanist is good too, but I like post office. And we get a community cauldron. Not my favorite free town unit. We're really looking for like the big tier 3 stuff, but here we'll take another town unit. It's the beekeeper. What do we get? We get a librarium. Again, not my favorite free town unit. I would say this is a little bit of a low roll when it comes to the free town units we got. Now, I'm going to position a bit strangely here just to play around kind of explosive damage a little bit. Putting the units I think are the most useful in the back. The units are the least useful in the front. Like, we're not going to use power lines effect or anything. This has like a nice bonus to adjacent units, but we don't need that. We're just positioning around piercing and explosive damage early so that the opponent who has a piercing weapon now might have a harder time hitting. Although piercing does, I gotta be honest, piercing does not work the exact way I thought it did, according to Ben in Discord. It's a little different than I thought it was. As you can see here, like, well, now I'm complicated by the mirror. I think it actually works like as the bird flies more than it works based on rows. I'm not even gonna try to break this down. I need to read it again, frankly, before I talk about it. But it has some nuance, basically, that I didn't know, which is both cool, but also means it has some gameplay implications as well. Like, in other words, if a unit fired from here to up here, I think maybe it would kind of respect as the bird flies as opposed to like only the grid. So like you could actually maybe hit something diagonally with piercing damage, which it did look like this took damage, but that might have been from the piercing, not from the reflection. So we might have even already seen that happening. Let's look at a Big Shot 3, see if we can find some kind of direction or interest here. Ooh, the mecha egg could be insane. We get a mecha dragon off this, that would be very nice, but it's so risky. I'm gonna go for it because I'm a baller like that. I'm a baller. Magic Shot 4 could find me a weapon here still. Get a Magnus or a Warden's Flame. Warden's Flame's definitely the better weapon, but Magnus is probably better early in the run. Oh, we took damage off the Sonic Mine, by the way. That's why that was damage, not the piercing damage. I just realized. I don't know. I don't know about the piercing thing. You guys can go read the Discord if you want more details. Ben wrote up a whole thing. It was cool. That's why it's cool having devs in Discord. I might take the Warden's Flame here anyway. It's just a better unit overall, and it does have 625 health. So, like, it's kind of just like a good defense unit, if nothing else. Even though I literally don't have a defense unit to support it right now. It's never going to do damage this run. It's just kind of both a defensive wall and an investment for later. So hopefully the Chameleon can get us through this round for the Mecha Egg, and hopefully the opponent doesn't have like a weather machine. Oh, we're totally gonna get through this round, right? Right? It's just one Piranha Plant. It is supported a lot by the Mushroom Menders, but it's just one Piranha Plant. Surely we'll be fine. It's just barely working through the flame. Oh, we're totally gonna be fine, right? It's gonna stop getting extra damage as soon as I delete the Mushroom Menders, and then it's gonna die like really fast. Oh, it does have 417 health, but it only deals 80 damage per hit. It's dead. The Mecha Egg survives, dude. Let's go. I think there's been a lot of comments on this unit, by the way, that people want it to always survive if you win the round, as opposed to, like, you know, if this gets sniped by piercing damage, explosive damage, whatever, right? By the way, it rolled a crazy enchantment there, the one that keeps it alive from lethal damage. I don't know. That's a reasonable request. I kind of like the idea that it can get sniped, though. Like, it needs to be risky. By the way, we have new art for the Mecha Egg and Mecha Dragon. If you guys want a little sneaky preview, I'm happy to show you a little sneaky preview. Here is the new Mecha Egg, literal recreation of Ben's. Amazing. And here is the new Mecha Dragon. Definitely not a recreation of Ben's art, but a pretty cool looking little metal dragon. Anyway, stay tuned for those soon, because you're gonna see Ben's Mecha Dragon art is very different, charming in its own way, but very different. All right, so now we have 3 weapons, but we do need to start supporting our Warden's Flames. We're gonna buy some big defense units. Brick by brick, generally pretty good for that. That's fine. Let's go tier 3, maybe to find another defense unit. This is a defense unit, so we probably take it. We also have the Arborist, though, which generates a lot of value and defense units both. They're not necessarily the best defense units for the Warden's Flame, though. Kind of depends. I think I have enough tempo off the Mecha Dragon that I maybe can go for Arborist. I don't think I need the immediate defense support just yet. Jeffrey technically does support the Warden's Flame. I'm still spacing stuff out here instead of going for the power line. You know, obviously this is later going to want things, but for now it's just more about like playing around AoE than it is about maximizing every little thing, right? So that's the plan for now. Hopefully this holds up. They're not too weak. Those weapons are actually going to have a lot of health thanks to the Latchwood Spores, but I think we'll be okay. Mecha Dragon's pretty good. It's like pretty close though, honestly. They got 2 my weapons, right? Like, that's a close fight. So even though we went for value, it wasn't too bad, you know. It really would not have been a win without the Mecha Dragon, certainly. We know that. All right, I had to step away there for a second. I am now back, but I have forgotten where we were at. So we're supporting Warden's Flame. We're looking for big defense items. A pillar would be really nice. Big shop here could give us a pillar. This gave us really good defense, but this usually has a defense hit, and it hits the pillar. I love it. Good stuff. So now we, you know, I think sometimes there's this like instinct to get a little too greedy on the Warden's Flame, and I think some people like, you know, try to get it up to like 3,000 attack because it's scaling with our defense unit's health, right? We don't need that much, right? 400 or 500 might be enough. We just kind of want to actually like protect it a little bit and maybe spread out the defense a little more now. Here's another little defense shrub, which technically helps. We're not really that strong on town. Yeah, I think we actually just take the shrub. Yeah. Feed it into the pillar. This scales with defense. This is just scaling independently, and this scales with defense. So we're pretty good here, actually. This should be big time damage. Whoa. Bacteria Contrarium giving a little extra health to the brick by brick. They're just probably buying this for later. Not much use right now, to be honest. Warden's Flame, really not that big yet. Did I put those in the wrong order, guys? I gotta double check. I gotta double check. Normally I put the brick by brick to the upper left of the thing. I was thinking we changed sort of combat. No, it did go off first. Yeah, it did still go off first. So sort of combat order you can always check here, right? No, I guess it just didn't, I don't know, just not that much health yet. Seemed like everything died so fast, but I think it's just because we don't have much yet. Magic Shop 5 here. We could actually go for Prismatic Mirror. There's also a cool little Infinity Pool build possibility here where I start buying more and more magic stuff. And try to go that route. Right now, you know, it's not good. Prismatic Mirror would be better first, but I think I might take it. We haven't lost a single fight yet. If we lost a fight here, it wouldn't be a disaster. So taking the Infinity Pool, I have a little window here from a tempo standpoint. I think that's okay. More magic now is good. This is actually a pretty decent defense item to scale up. Well, it doesn't add much health. It only gains 50 health on the pillar, but it does just give us a bit more defensive wall. That said, the magic missile mine now, its base stats do get transferred over. So the 100 damage here is suddenly quite relevant to buffing our weapons, which I do kind of still need better backup weapons. I think Azurite can speed up our key weapon here, so that's good. Okay, so this is a little bit of, again, a down round. You know, I could see us losing this round because we just didn't net enough tempo here, right? Like, you know, not that much defense, not that much damage yet. But, you know, we might scrape by, and if we get a free win here, that would be great. I mean, I think we're looking okay right now, actually. They don't have a lot of units, so we're going to get to their weapons pretty fast here. Close, but I think if we kill, you know, second weapon quickly here, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, this has a lot of health, but not enough to get through 3 units first. Nice, dude. Nice. To take a little bit of a down round and still turn out okay there is a really good win. So now we're looking for Magic Shop 5s, actually. More big magic for our Infinity Pool. Basically, anytime a magic unit dies, we're going to get extra stats. Now, the pillar, ironically, not actually the best for that, because it is looking at base stats. The pillar's base stats aren't particularly high. So, in a weird way, I don't know if I need a second pillar, but at the same time, I'm going to take it because it's funny and big. It's chill. It's still okay. Here, this is fine. Do we sell? I could lose my Sonic Mine. I could definitely lose my Beekeepers. Don't care about those at all. Simple Shop 2, another Community Cauldron. We can actually start using these Community Cauldrons to get a little extra magic stuff in action. And give it extra health, I guess, too, although that has a little less upside, probably. Sell again. We could start selling anything that's not a magic unit. Sell the power line. Sell the botanist. Sell the foundry. This buffs magic units, although, again, it's really looking at base. Hey, defense 4 is really good. Force field is a little hard to position, I would say. Mushroom Mender is probably a bit better to position, I would say. Start of combat here is fine. Front. So let's see. Magic. These all become magic units, which isn't a lot, but it's a little. Still don't love my backline weapons, but we're kind of relying on the Warden's Flame to carry us right now. I think, again, we could have a down round. Artillery Repeater in particular is very good against defense units, which is our whole front line. So Hopefully we're fast enough here. This is a crazy replicator build. I was seeing some replicator shaming happening in Discord, saying it's really bad, which I agree. I think they're right, but it used to be really broken a few times, so we were in a careful, tenuous spot. I don't know. That's still a decently sized coil and a decently sized Gorgon. How much health? Oh, we actually have a lot of health. This got a lot of health from all the magic stuff, so I think we're gonna be fine again. We're just defensive enough here. This fight was long. Basically went almost all the way to fatigue. It's crazy. All right. Magic 5 again. Yeah, I think it's right. I think we can take another infinity pool. Yeah. I really, in particular, though, need to find... Well, I think magic missile mines are pretty good, but I also really want to get some prismatic mirrors. I think that's the next thing we need. We're not making our pillars strong enough yet. I think we're going to lose around here inevitably. I think our pillars just aren't quite big enough yet. We're going to have to lose around here at some point. I need to look for superchargers, which can double these sort of combat effects. That could really help. You know, this damage is already gone. Again, this fight's like kind of close, I would say. These are all magic units. We're getting a lot of extra stats here. I don't know. There's a lot of little junk up here, though. I'm still chipping through, right? And my units just aren't that strong. So it's like kind of a defense game. Are we going to hit fatigue soon? Not quite. Yeah, I think we're going to lose, right? Like, it's just not doing enough damage. Despite all the health here, it's not quite enough damage. It's so close, though. Yeah, I think we took a couple greedy rounds. This was the first one that finally caught us, and against a, you know, very talented player with Bernie Sanders. So not feeling too bad about it, but this could be that supercharger we talked about. That would be great. Yep, there it is. Okay, we like the supercharger. Nice. So this is gonna hit both brick by brick and pillar. We could position in a way where we hit both of the brick by bricks, but I kind of just... I don't know. I want the Warden's Flame behind everything, right? I think. I need a way to keep that alive. It is very susceptible right now. I'm buying all these expensive shops, and we're not getting a lot of other stuff. Although Firestorm Shelter's good. It's magic, decently high base health, which is great. Opponent is doing similar stuff here. Also got Crystal Core support, giving extra health to their pillar. But I mean, my Warden's Flame is at 600 now. Like, this is starting to get to the point where it's crazy threatening, right? 25% explosive damage roll off. They are killing all my little magic units in the back, which is not actually a bad thing for us, because that's potentially just feeding our pillars even more health, right? Like, all these little magic units technically feed into these things. Like, even this is now a magic unit, right? It got transformed. So we just have like extra Warden's Flame damage for longer. And you can see that explosive damage is really shredding. So I think we're going to be fine here. Again, I would like one more good backline weapon, because we're just way too reliant right now on the Warden's Flame. That's clear. Still over 600 health is crazy good. And we also need some ways to like speed it up potentially. Few things there I think I'd like us to do better. Big Shop 4, I would love prismatic mirrors. No. Stonewall is interesting. Also, Tether 2000 is pretty cool, because you can use the Warden here to feed another weapon like this. I don't know why I feel compelled to move those. I didn't really achieve anything. Structure Shop 4, big defense here is good. This is actually a magic unit, which could speed up all three of these, by the way. It's kind of neat. These can sort of go wherever. This hits three things now: Tether, Mecha, and Wardens. And it's particularly like the Mega Dragon's pretty fast, so it starts ticking this up and speeding the other two up even faster, which is cool. I would still, like I said, like one more weapon. I'd like a way to keep the supercharger alive to stuff like weather machine or explosive damage, because a lot of times this will die before it goes off. So there can be enchantments that do that. It could be like a green crystal, maybe. A few options there. Warden's Flame hitting big still. Shredding, one-shotting pretty much everything it hits. The pillars are big enough that it's like holding on for a long time here too, which is great. We're gonna be fine here. Mega Dragon's damage much higher, as we see. It is a little more exposed up here in the front line. I should probably move these town units ahead of it a little bit. It becomes a magic unit too, which is fun. But as you can see, we're going to be fine here. They're down to one weapon that's almost dead. Our stuff here has like crazy health, right? Like this blacksmith has 800 health, bro. from the infinity pool chains, right? It's like a random blacksmith with 800 health. It's so sick. Really cool. Creates a ton of chains of structure 5. Yeah, looking for prismatic mirrors. Nope, man. Altar of Decima is pretty cool with stuff like brick by brick and pillar because they resurrect and then they reactivate their sort of combat effect. Could also just go for stuff like Elder Dandelion is just like more junk in the way of the opponents, giving this more time. Vile Totem also just like a big defense unit, which is pretty cool. He's ahead a little bit here, like we said, at least for now until we find an option. There are a lot of tough choices here, man. I think I'm just gonna go Altar of Decima on these guys. It's weird because the pillars, you know, like if the pillar dies second, it's not gonna have a lot to proc off of, but it's still just a thing. It's a magic unit which sends some base health around, right? Like it's still valuable. Yeah, in some ways it's my least interested unit, but in other ways it's the best, so I don't know. Bamboo, really good defense, feeds a little bit into the pillars if we want. Spell Factory I also like, though. It's magic, which is not, you know, a ton with only 70 health, but it does add in a little, and I do really like enchantments a lot. I want some speed enchantments. I want some protection enchantments there. Thankfully, we have not run into any opponents with stuff that's sniping our superchargers. We're actually getting the superchargers off quite reliably, but I don't think that's going to last forever. Pretty decent pillar. Came back with a... I guess that was damaged, though, so maybe not that good. I mean, our Warden's Flame right now is just shredding, right? Like, it's just doing a ridiculous amount of damage. 363 DPS, and then that's feeding the Mecha Dragon to be insane too. 200 DPS. When we look at the opponents, right? 70 DPS, 70 DPS, just not a lot of DPS, so our damage output dramatically outscaling theirs. Now here we saw the Altar of Decima bring back a pretty nice brick by brick, right? Now this pillar, unfortunately, is going to bring it back, but it's not really going to do much. It's only going to have 20 health. But it does still feed into the infinity pools, which is nice. You can see stuff getting a little buffed here and there. I need one more backline weapon, I think, though. Still think, oh, okay. This is actually an insane level up enchantment on the Mecha Dragon here. It's going to go nicely because this does potentially go off a lot. Here we have some protection against spell damage, which is good. Anything we really want to sell here? I mean, we can sell some of this junky town stuff, honestly. I don't really need it. It's kind of cool with the community cauldrons, but it's, you know, ultimately not that interesting. I actually value all the other like defense stuff more. Big structure shop 5 or upgrades. Enchantments are good, but we're getting some every round now. I might just go for another big magic. Technically big magic, but not exactly what we wanted to see. This is kind of easy though too, to be honest. Like I can just grab this. We've been winning fights readily enough that I think we can just kind of grab it, and like the pillar here is gonna create new better stuff for me. I can just like throw in trees. Here's the defense 5. Give me prismatic mirror. There it is. That's what we've been looking for. Okay, so we want this going off super early to start turning things into magic, start getting buffs around really early. That's perfect. I want to throw one more unit into the portal. Maybe just a tree. Yeah, maybe a tree. All right, I still want one more good. I would love a Tesla coil, maybe instead of a Mecha Dragon for that tether buff on the Warden's Flame here. Warden's Flame getting pretty fast too, though, which is nice, right? 1.4 already is good. Well, it's doing a good job getting through my stuff early. This is already down to 300 damage. I'm a little worried this fight is going to go the wrong way here. They don't have a lot of scaling necessarily. Like a lot of their damage happened immediately thanks to the crystals, but a little bit thanks to the compound knowledge. That's going to make my life a little too hard. I don't think we're going to have enough health here to win this. Like fatigue's going to hop in here in a second, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They have so many units. Like even though I have a lot of health, they just have a lot of units, right? Yeah. Just a little too good. This is why I was talking about wanting a slightly better AoE weapon. I did just get a backline weapon here with the chameleon, which helps. Health buffs there also help. Here's a magic unit. Another way to protect that guy a little bit. Another shrub. Big defense here. Looking for prismatic mirrors, or maybe brick by bricks are pretty good too. Yeah, we can use another brick by brick. That's fine. Let's put it here to get that supercharger buff again. Even though it's not touching the Warden's Flame. Again, we don't really care. The Warden's Flame is big enough now that it doesn't matter. Here's a crystal to help protect the charger. Can still get sniped a little bit if like the crystal dies first or whatever. Let's just throw a tree in on the portal. Second weapon helps, but they're not exactly what I was looking for, right? Still looking for slightly better stuff. Here's another Warden's Flame build. A lot of health on the emeralds here. Does create some interesting things. Ooh, weather machine might snipe our supercharger. No, it lives. Nice. Okay, big deal, big deal, big deal. Weather machine is shredding everything else though. Oh my god, my whole board is just getting murdered, dude. What the heck? It's so strong. Wait, how is it dealing so much damage? Maybe it's real. Dude, I'm like getting absolutely murdered. What just happened? It was really their Warden's Flame that got me, I guess. Dang, dude. They had 4 weapons. Beat my 1 weapon. Bro, these crystals are just shredding, I guess. Dang, dog. I got murdered. I got absolutely murdered. I really did not think that was going to be close. Like, or the blow, I thought it was going to be close. What the heck just happened, dude? That was some wild work. Good God, dude. I don't even know now. I'm all out of sorts. Give me a tink. Give me a Tesla coil. No, another tether though. I don't really have space for the tether up there. I could do it down below though. I could do a double tether. Do one down here on a chameleon, right? Like that's kind of cool. Prismatic is fantastic. Yes. Forgot to move these back into better spots after I put in the brick by brick, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I thought we were stronger than we were in that last fight. Just embarrassed us. I'm like, oh, weather machine's scary. Can supercharger survive? Nope, it died. Dang, it died to a mine though, actually. Still needs a little more help. That's what the problem is. Like if the crystal dies first, right, you're a little cooked. So we got a lot less health to work with here, which means a little less damage too. I mean, we're not looking too bad right now though. These are actually getting pretty darn strong still, as long as they survive, which as I said that, the chameleon died. This is down to 0 damage, so this is really my only key weapon left. Now we're gonna lose. These weather machines right now, man, they're so strong. I think Magic 5 in general, like I said, is just too strong. Chameleon turned into magic, but not enough. The tree build here, the tree just held on for so long, yeah. Oh, guys, next fight is we lose. That's a bad enchantment. Just throw it wherever. Here's fine. Casino, I don't really need. We'll try to roll into better. Obelisk is actually really, really intriguing because we can throw these mirrors to snipe key targets, and you still get to activate them, you know, early for your infinity pool hits, which is cool. Really nice. Ooh, pain inverter is really nice. Put that in there as a nice health boost. Magic shop again. Oh, baby, I love to see it. Okay, so 3 insane hits now for the obelisk, dealing 1200. That's activating our infinity pool roll-offs early. This portal right now, I don't have a second thing on it. Maybe just throw in a tree, I guess. Not my favorite, but it's okay. Round 14, only 20. We got to win every fight, guys, basically, to survive. Doesn't look that scary. I think we'll be okay here. I think we're going to be totally fine on this one. We're shredding this opening line, I'll say that. Need these to snipe weapons, though. Assimilator's pretty big. Oh, we did snipe a weapon. Yeah, nice. Can this hit the assimilator? No, I got the vile totem, which is okay. That's still fine, I think. A lot of health remaining. Did our I don't know. It doesn't look like to me that survived, right? Gosh, they did get through my Warden's Flame faster than I expected, to be honest, but they don't have much else. Like, this is still really strong. Is that going to be enough to hold, though? It's out of health almost. Oh my god. Get to that assimilator. Fatigue, save me. I think we're dying, right? Oh my god, no way. I thought for sure we were gonna win this. No way. No way. No way. No way. We didn't take enough damage to die, though. Oh my god. I thought for sure we were gonna win that fight. We fell off so much sooner than I thought. Oh my god. I'm so sad, dude. I really thought we were gonna win that. Go for upgrades. Yeah, speed boost again. I don't know. Maybe the Warden's Flame is actually more important than the Mecha Dragon. Like, Mecha Dragon has benefits when he triggers. It really helps, so I'm tempted. Plus, these are better on Tinker units, but I'm gonna go extra life here again. I don't think we need another damage removal thing. Extra life. Scarlet Leech. No, that's something we need to transform away. Magic Shop 4, another prismatic mirror. Let's go. Okay. Let's go ahead and sell our portal and this stuff. We're almost at the end of the game. I don't need that right now. Another prismatic mirror. Let's go. Okay. That's great. Great news. Excellent development. Can we do another one? I'll take another. Oh, actually, Graveyard's pretty sick for us. It's not going to be super fast, unfortunately, but it does have a lot of like key things you can resurrect here. And Mana Jar, it's pretty cool next to Altar sometimes, but hard to work with. Enchant Weaver. I mean, I do have some bad enchantments, I guess. What did I not like? I had like Last Hope here. I don't want that one. Maybe kind of the only one. I probably don't need Small Shield, but maybe it helps, so we'll keep it. All right. Yeah. This is interesting, guys. I mean, we're down to the last 2 rounds. Either way, 9 trophies isn't terrible. Getting a little hang up here. What happened? Server? Server? Internet? Internet? Retry? Server's online? There we go. Nice. Okay. I think we definitely can win. I just wish we had another good weapon, but the obelisk kind of what happened there? We missed the fight! No! Well, okay, we cheated. We got the trophy, I guess. I don't know if it just like skipped the fight. I don't know. I'll take it. Ben, if you're watching, tell us what happened. But now we're down to the literal final round. We're gonna go positive on rating either way. I don't know if we got bailed out or if that's just how it went, but I'll take it. Yeah, let's go another stone wall up here. I will say this pillar is a little bit under supported. Maybe I put like the stone wall here, just so it's on that pillar, and it like keeps the pillar healthy longer too. Magic 3, yeah. I mean, I kind of knew I wasn't gonna want these. I don't know why I grabbed this shop, but the best base health, I guess, is the altering stone, theoretically, right? I don't know how useful it is though. Do we sell? I could maybe sell the mushroom mender, some shrubs. Yeah, we can actually sell the spell factory since it's a production unit. We don't have any more turns. Same for arborist, actually. Give me a big defense. Oh my god, a pain inverter. Let's freaking go. Let's just put that here. Structure 2. Missile mine we like, okay. Final buy is a ruby, which, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Can go on the Mecha Dragon, sure. All right, I mean, I think we got some interesting stuff here, man. Can we survive our final fight? Peugeot's been, oh man, oh my god, we're so screwed. What on earth? There's 4 superchargers here, buffing both an assimilator and a weather machine. We're so screwed. This is never gonna survive. Survive for me one time, supercharger, please god. It does survive. Okay, that helps. But unfortunately, the pain inverters had like died before that went off the second time, so I think we're probably in trouble here. We didn't even snipe anything useful with our obelisks because these pillars are so big. Now, this is a similar build, by the way, but I mean, like 3 Tesla coils, a weather machine that's been buffed 4 extra times. Like, we never had a shot, dude. Hey, Zero, how do you have so many good units? Like, it's insane the amount of good stuff he has. It wasn't even close. My god, the weather machine dealt 10,000 damage. Warden's Flame dealt 8,000. My obelisk was my best unit. Oh my god, it's just like the amount of quality on, like 3 mini black holes, which I did do a cool mini black hole magic build earlier. Like how much freaking mana is on this board? Same thing with Tether, Warden's Flame, but he had the coil like I was talking about, like being able to triple that out. Double infinity pool. Like how many weapons? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 weapons, 3 black holes. Like that's 15 mana right there. Maybe there was a portal early that gave a lot of this stuff. This is kind of one of the things I've talked about with tier 5 magic shops being a little too good right now, right? I think this is a crazy strong unit right now and built around. Pillar's still really good. Warden's Flame is really good. So you have a lot of like key stuff to build towards if you go for tier 5 magic. You can kind of build a little team out of it, right? I liked our little scrappy build though here, man. Maybe we only went positive by 1 point specifically because we skipped a fight, but we'll just assume that was a win and we just missed it. Okay. Interesting little experiment here with some neat stuff. I mean, felt like at the end we were just missing the value we needed, maybe. Maybe not enough value. That might have been the problem. But a cool little experiment. So anyway, that wraps it up, folks. That's our run today. I thought I was wizard. I don't know. I've been doing some weird experimental stuff, so my rank's down a little, but I thought I was still wizard despite losing. Despite gaining a point, I'm not. So either way, that's the run, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at some of our reviews. Hopefully you enjoyed this little run. Hopefully you learned a little bit, and hopefully you check out Skyshard. There's links as always down in the description and pinned comment below. So go check it out. Go give it some rounds. Stay tuned for lots more new art, new stuff. We got a new island. This screen's gonna look different. All this unit art's gonna get better. So yeah, that said, thank you much. Good luck out there, and I guess I will see you around.